Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So the trial for the Texas Trump train has begun. As you guys all know, this case centers around an October 2020 attack on a Biden-Harris campaign bus. Luckily, neither one of them was on the bus at that time, but the people who surrounded and harassed the bus, they didn't know that. They thought that Kamala Harris was on board. And as you all know, the alleged perpetrators are Trump supporters, needless to say. I say alleged, but again, as you also know, the majority of this assault was captured on video because, as usual, these MAGA morons were too busy clout chasing rather than considering the consequences of their alleged crimes. And one of the most damning videos was recorded by another driver who was on the highway. She posted it to social media. Now, she had nothing to do with the attack, but from the comments she made in the video, definitely sounded like she supported the violence and this intimidation. So there are 6 remaining defendants in this case. They are Joeylynn Mesaros, her husband Robert Mesaros, Stephen Ceh, which is spelled C-E-H, his wife Brandi Ceh, and Dolores Park and Eliazar Cisneros. So the jury was chosen last Friday. Opening statements and first witnesses were called yesterday. In the plaintiff's opening statement, the attorney told the jury, quote, "What the defendants did on October 30th, 2020 wasn't peaceful patriotism. It was intimidation. The law that they broke gives us the power to hold them accountable." And then the attorney showed the jury some very damning evidence. So it included social media posts, private messages, and videos. He showed how Trump train participants were using the hashtag #BlockTheBus in their online posts, and they were encouraging people to take part in this attack. And in one communication written by Joeylynn Mesaros, it said, quote, "We're raging to chase down the Biden bus. It looks like others are ready to fuck shit up too." And in an online post, Mesaros said that they planned on, quote, "giving a friendly escort out of town." So the attorney then showed a Facebook post that was written by Cisneros, and in it he bragged about hitting a car that was following the bus. I've mentioned this before. This is the car that was being driven by a campaign staffer, and he was following them to their campaign stops. Well, Cisneros was seen on video pushing this driver out of his lane. They admit that, you know, he was driving in between lanes. He was riding the line, and then ultimately he hit the side of this car and completely damaged it. And not only was that captured on video, the video that I mentioned that woman took, but Cisneros wrote on Facebook, quote, "That was me slamming into that fucker. Hell yeah." Yet, there are still MAGA idiots out there trying to say that the Biden staffer was the one who caused the collision. I mean, okay, let's not believe video evidence. Let's not believe the perpetrator's own words, his written words. God, there's such Kool-Aid drinkers. So the plaintiff's attorney also played a video of Steve Ceh telling a crowd, quote, "Any socialist coming to the state of Texas, we're going to escort them right out of Texas." Now, according to reporters who were in the courtroom yesterday, Ceh was smirking when that video was shown. So he thinks this is a joke. He thinks what he's saying, perfectly fine, totally normal. He thinks it's funny. And check this out. This Ceh guy, he is a quote unquote pastor. Yeah. And people wonder why I refuse to go back to church. Real Christian behavior there, Ceh. Freaking hypocrites. So anyway, there are 4 defense attorneys in this case. They each gave an opening statement yesterday. They all tried to minimize their clients' actions. They're framing it as, oh, this is First Amendment protected speech. You know, this was no different than any other Trump train that took place in 2020. I mean, just the fact that this Trump train ended up with multiple lawsuits, kind of disproves that theory. So Cisneros' attorney actually had the ovaries to say, quote, "It was a rah-rah group that sought to support and advocate for the candidate of their choice in a very loud way." Really? Then why didn't they surround and slow down a Trump bus? Why didn't they follow a Trump bus through town and try to run them off the road? So he accused the plaintiffs of using lawfare to, quote, "drain Republicans of their money." And keep in mind, these people have been raising all kinds of money. So it's not like they're coming out of pocket, at least not some of them, for the legal expenses here. And he told the jury, quote, "It's more of a constitutional issue. It's more of who has the greater right to speak behind their candidate." How is surrounding the opposition's bus, trying to run them off the road, flipping them off, screaming and cursing at them, brandishing weapons, supposedly, and slamming into one of their cars, how is that advocating for your candidate? So the attorney for Joeylynn and Robert Mesaros told the jury that essentially the video clips and social media posts, they're all taken out of context, but he's saying, the facts are going to come out in the trial. So we'll see. The plaintiff's attorney also called their first witness yesterday. It was Wendy Davis. Now, Davis was a Texas state senator at the time of this incident. So she was campaigning for Biden and Harris. And she recorded this attack, or she recorded part of it. It was in total, like I said, over 90 minutes. She recorded about 45 minutes of what was happening. So that was shown to the jury yesterday. And Davis told the jury, quote, "It was a day that was very different from anything I experienced campaigning. It honestly felt like being taken hostage in a way." And she testified that for the full 90 plus minutes that they were surrounded, she was filled with fear and anxiety. And Davis said, quote, "We felt overwhelmed by what was going on, and we didn't have any support." Now that, as you also will probably recall, is because the police treated the whole thing as a big joke. Not only did they refuse to show up, they refused to help, but the plaintiffs later found out that some members of the police force were actually laughing at them and mocking them for being terrified. That all came out in another lawsuit that was filed by these plaintiffs. So that was against the San Marcos Police Department. That suit settled out of court. They only got $175,000. And then the police department agreed to require training for their officers on how to deal with political violence. Now, I say only 175, like to any, you or I mean, we'd be thrilled with 175,000. But remember, these people were terrorized and the police failed in their duty. So, and 175,000 for a police department, they're not going to feel that. That's not going to make a damn bit of difference in the way that they do things down there. So anyway, complete BS. And speaking of settlements out of court, I shared a while back, 2 of the original Trump train defendants in this case, they had settled out of court as well. So they admitted their crimes. And my question is, how are these remaining defendants going to proclaim their innocence when 2 of their fellow participants already admitted wrongdoing? They already admitted, yeah, this is what we were planning on doing. We terrified these people. So we're settling. And we don't know how much it was because, again, they settled out of court. And even more so, going back to my question, the 2 who settled are related to 2 of the other remaining defendants. So they were Hannah Ceh, who is the daughter of the so-called preacher and his wife, and then Kyle Kruger, who is Hannah Ceh's fiance. So the 2 of them settled with the plaintiffs, again, for an undisclosed amount, and they wrote letters of apology. I mean, they were kind of BS letters, but anyway, honestly, the only way that these defendants are possibly in a million years going to get out of this and win is if they have some sort of MAGA liars on the jury. If they have ringers on the jury, then yeah, they're going to let them walk. But any rational, honest person looking at these videos, looking at the written evidence, it's a slam dunk. I mean, there's just no way that anybody would say, oh yeah, this is just normal political speech. This is protected. I just, no way. Not in a million years. So anyway, I will let you all know what happens today, because day 2 is going on right now. So I'm waiting on reporting on that. But again, I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. And of course, we're all getting ready for the debate tonight. A little bit nervous about that, but I will let you know tomorrow my thoughts on that as well. So thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.